"Alan, come home. Mom doesn't have much time left." The voice on the other end of the phone was trembling. Alan sat in his sleek New York office, staring out at the city lights. It was 11 p.m., another long day filled with meetings and deadlines. He tightened his grip on his pen, sighed, and said, "Dad, I have a major deal this week. Can she hold on just a few more days? I promise I'll fly home this weekend." There was silence. Then his father whispered, "All right, but please, come as soon as you can. She's been waiting for you." That weekend never came. 5 days later, Alan finally got on a plane, but by the time he arrived, the funeral was already over. His mother now lay beneath a simple gravestone, surrounded by white lilies. His father, looking frail and defeated, barely had the strength to stand. His voice cracked as he spoke. "She was holding your photo before she passed. She kept saying she just wanted to hear you call her Mom one last time." Alan's breath caught in his throat. His chest tightened as if someone had clenched a fist around his heart. He reached out and traced his fingers along the cold stone, whispering, "Mom, I'm so sorry." But it was too late. He had always thought there would be more time, but time waits for no one. After his mother's death, Alan buried himself in work. He couldn't bear to go home. His father, now alone in that quiet house, would call him every few days. "Alan, the peach tree in the backyard bloomed again. You used to climb it every summer." "Alan, it's snowing today. The heat is a little broken, but I'll manage." "Alan, I made your favorite beef stew tonight, but it's just me here. Hard to finish it alone." Every time, Alan would glance at his overflowing schedule and say, "Dad, work's crazy right now. Next month, I promise." Next month never came. One evening, Alan's phone rang, but this time, it wasn't his father. It was the hospital. "Mr. Parker, your father suffered a fall at home. He was unconscious for 2 days before the neighbor found him." Alan's world shattered. He booked the first flight back. In the hospital room, his father lay in a sterile white bed, his once strong hands now frail and covered in IV lines. His voice was barely a whisper. "Alan, you finally came." Alan took his father's cold hand in his own. Tears blurred his vision. "I'm here, Dad. I'm here now." His father's lips trembled into a weak smile. "It's all right. Your mother would be happy to see you again." But Alan knew. He was too late. Again. After his father passed away, Alan returned to his childhood home. Everything was covered in dust, as if time had frozen in his absence. In the corner of the attic, he found an old diary. It was his mother's. The pages were filled with words of love and quiet pain. "Alan called me Mom for the first time today. His voice was so soft, like a little kitten. I hope he stays this happy forever." Alan started school today. He was so proud, carrying his backpack. He told me, "Mom, when I grow up, I'll buy you the biggest house in the world." Alan is working late again. He hasn't come home for dinner in weeks. He says once he gets promoted, he'll have more time for us. But he doesn't realize we never wanted his money. We just wanted him to sit at the table and eat with us. Alan clutched the diary to his chest. and broke down in tears. He had spent his whole life chasing wealth and success, thinking they would bring happiness. But now he understood. What his parents truly wanted was never the money. It was him. The years passed. Alan grew old. At 88, he sat in his rocking chair, staring at the golden sunset outside his window. His body was weak, his once powerful hands now trembling with age. He had all the wealth he once dreamed of. A grand house, a bank account filled with millions. But his house was silent. His phone rarely rang. And in the end, what did all the money mean? He thought about his mother waiting for his call, his father eating dinner alone, his best friend John, whom he hadn't spoken to in years, only to later find out John had passed away. He picked up his phone and scrolled through his contacts. So many names, but most of them he could never call again. If he could turn back time, he would give up every dollar just to have one more dinner with his parents, one more drink with his best friend, one more chance to say, "I love you." But life does not give second chances. Final letter, a message to the young. That night, Alan took out a piece of paper and with trembling hands wrote his final words. Dear young one, when you get old, you will not regret losing money. You will not regret failing at work. You will only regret the moments you did not spend with the people you love. Do not wait until you have time. Do not wait until you make enough money. Go home now. Hug your parents. Call your friends. Enjoy the simple moments, because time is cruel, and one day you will wake up and realize that it's too late. Alan put down the pen and looked outside. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying the echoes of voices long gone. He closed his eyes, and for the first time in years, he felt at peace. What about you? When you grow old, what will you regret the most? Will you continue waiting, or will you go and cherish the ones you love before it's too late?